So even though we haven't played Call of Duty Vanguard's alpha just yet, we're learning a lot about the game through it. And what I mean by that is today we ended up getting the early download or pre-install for Vanguard's alpha for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 users. We ended up learning actually a lot about the game coming out of the settings here involved with that application. So today we're gonna break down everything you need to know and what we learned about in terms of gameplay features, mechanics, and things like that, and everything in between. So let me know your thoughts down below as we go along. Are you liking any of these new and returning features? Maybe not so much, whatever the case may be, let me know your thoughts down below. But as well, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. Let's aim for 1,000 likes on this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We have so much stuff regarding Vanguard that you do not want to miss, so stick it here on the channel so you don't miss a single bit of it. But said, let's jump right into the discussion at hand. So right out of the gate, the alpha is actually now available for PlayStation users, regardless of PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, in which you can pre-download it. It's still not live until later this week, but it is something that you can now go in and get a pre-install here for this so that you're not trying to cram last second to get it downloaded, installed, and you can just jump right into the action when it kicks off later this weekend. Though, one thing to be aware of is that there's both a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 4 version, so if you're on PlayStation 5, make sure you're ending up downloading the correct PlayStation 5 specific version so you can get all that can come out of it, because there are a few things that make the play experience a little bit better with those hardware upgrades for the PS5 compared to the PS4. Another great thing that's important to note is that there is no need for a PlayStation Plus membership. Those that want to play, doesn't matter if you're an active PlayStation user or if you've just dusted off the PlayStation 4 or 5 and don't have a premium membership, you can still jump in. All you need is that console and internet access to participate. No pre-orders, no PlayStation Plus, nothing. You can jump right in. Now, make sure you jump on that so you can jump into the action as soon as it happens, but out of today's publishing of this alpha, this pre-download, you actually can launch into the game itself. Now, every single time you're going to be met with servers aren't online just yet, and you're not able to get past that main menu, but some players have actually been able to see all of the settings here within the alpha build of the game. More of these will likely be expanded upon in the beta. One in particular we'll talk about in just a little bit, but this isn't the full range of settings that we'll see for beta and launch likely, but it is something that gives us a good indication of some gameplay features that we know of that are either returning, new, and all confirmed by some of these settings here, breaking these all down. So while normally looking at settings may be a little bit boring, it's pretty nice to get some confirmation of some of these things here with this. So firstly, one of the big things is that tac sprint is back. There's an auto tac sprint setting returning here with this, as we've seen within Modern Warfare and Warzone, but it was actually something that was shown off in that Champion Hill trailer yesterday, so something some eagle-eyed spectators ended up seeing out of that trailer, but does make a lot of sense given this is on the Modern Warfare 19 engine. It turns out also that we're going to have some more aim assist customization as we have in years prior, but the interesting part is that there's a new setting here introduced with this. Normally, we'd see our default precision and focusing, but we actually have a fourth option here with it this year. Now, the Vanguard settings, that's in place of the default here, your traditional aim slowdown near the target. Precision is something where there's strong aim slowdown that only kicks in when aiming closer to the target. Good for accurate players here at this. Focusing, again, returning as strong aim slowdown that kicks in when narrowly missing a target, which is best for players that are new to analog aiming. But the new feature of Legacy is actually alternate aim slowdown near target, which is essentially the Black Ops Cold War default aim assist type here at this. So interesting to see that we're taking a little bit of that crossover from different engine, different aim assist type play and adding it in with this Modern Warfare, Warzone, Vanguard feeling game. So maybe a little bit of best of both worlds here at this until we actually get hands-on with it. There's no real way to tell, but interesting that they added that in. We also, of course, have our aim response curve type when talking about aim assist and aiming settings as well. Your standard, linear, and dynamic are back here again. There's tons of ADS sensitivity multipliers, and we've had these before, but now there's one for just about every single magnification zoom, it seems like. Base all the way up to 8 times magnification, and the high zoom, which is assumedly somewhere higher than 8 times magnification. So you'll be able to manually change each one of those multipliers and have a different sensitivity if you really want one. Then we end up seeing that there's different audio settings, which is pretty cool here at this, where you can change the kill streak music, and also the hit marker sounds are going to be adjustable as well. My guess, maybe similar to something like we saw with Modern Warfare 2019, where you could have that sort of legacy hit marker sound, or the new hit marker sounds within Modern Warfare 2019. Maybe something like Vanguard has its new hit marker sounds, but you can go back to Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty World War II, or since they did work on it, maybe Modern Warfare 3 even. We saw that, of course, doors are going to be returning. That was something that we've known for quite some time, but seeing it reiterated in game settings, you have the ability to end up having the door bash interaction adjusted. Either you can go manual, where you have to select to interact with a door to go through it, or you can just bust through it like you can in Modern Warfare and Warzone. There also are different dead zone settings returning, which is definitely nice for variables in controller play, but also the interesting part here is that there now is featuring dead zones for specific triggers like L2 and R2. We also saw there was a couple of things interesting with graphical settings. You, of course, have your 120 hertz support for multiplayer, which is kind of a given now that we see PlayStation 5 now supporting this through upgraded hardware. Saw that a little bit within Warzone as of recently, and of course with Black Ops Cold War, but there also was a setting for camera movement where you had 50%, 75%, or the default 100%, which actually adjusts the camera shake in some areas. So I'm wondering how this will play out in real game time. So if, say, an artillery strike or something starts to shake your screen, can you adjust that so that it's not as shaky? Wondering if that's one-to-one with that. Now, notably, out of all of these settings, and especially the graphical settings, there is no FOV slider just yet within Vanguard. And that's something that has a lot of people, I don't want to say up in arms, I'm sure there are people that are definitely upset with that, but more so worried about what this means for the future. Though one thing that I will say is that if you're worried right now, I wouldn't worry just yet. That's something that even last year with Black Ops Cold War, the FOV slider on console wasn't available in the alpha last year. The alpha's graphic settings only included your safe area bounds, i.e. where you end up having your image fit your screen dimensions, your brightness, your split screen orientation, and motion blur settings, which were notably busted for the entirety of the alpha, and I want to say also the beta as well. But the beta is actually where we ended up seeing the introduction of things like colorblind type, some of which is actually already customizable within the alpha for Vanguard, but that's also then when we saw that FOV slider introduced for consoles last year. Then, of course, we saw that carried over into the full game of Black Ops Cold War. So the real question, I think, really comes down to if this is going to happen during the beta and then moving forward. Because there's a lot of stuff with the tech of Vanguard that's built upon the tech of Modern Warfare 2019, and in a lot of ways is basically one-to-one here at this, i.e. doors, mounting, tac sprint, slides, slide behavior. So it'll be curious to see if this comes at all, if it's too built upon this engine, if it's something that the engine itself wasn't designed to have that. I can't imagine that Sledgehammer wouldn't have this in the cards, given that basically every single post regarding Warzone this past year has been a spam of, hey, where's FOV for consoles? And given that they do want to make this as much a one-to-one with Warzone as possible, I just can't see that being neglected. But at the same time, again, with those engine upgrades, it can do some new cool stuff within the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, but we still don't know if at the base, the engine itself was built to support FOV on consoles. So we don't know if that's going to come at beta, at launch, the new Warzone experience, but we just don't have enough information for that verdict just yet. So until we learn more, until we see at least the beta, I wouldn't get too worried just yet. Still very possible it's in the cards, but for the alpha, it won't be there. Then finally, in regards to the alpha, we ended up learning a little bit about the V2 rocket returning. This not so much in the game itself for the settings, but instead coming from the PlayStation blog here, in which they said it may make sense to hold on to the cash you're earning along the way by either making more modest, aka cheaper upgrades during each buy round, or none at all. That is until the very end, where you've built up enough cash to buy that kill streak, or perhaps a V2 rocket that could obliterate the lives of the remaining squads in one fell swoop. No need for a knockdown, drag out final fight here. So that sounds like this is going to be something that we can actually experience the V2 rocket in the alpha once again, which is definitely interesting, but it seems like it's going to be a very conservative type of kill streak here, that you have to really pinch all the pennies going into this, basically play bare bones up until the very end, make sure you're one of the last teams standing, and then purchase that V2 rocket to perhaps win the match. But I'm also interested to see what this means then for the future, because the V2 rocket, for those that haven't played Call of Duty World War II, was that sort of nuke streak here, the 25 or 30, can't remember off the top of my head which way Sledgehammer took with that, but your gun streak here at that once you ended up getting it, it was just like the Moab, you ended up killing everybody on the enemy team, and then the game kept going on as normal. You could end up killing yourself, going for a double V2, triple V2, things like that, but it didn't end the game like the nuke in Modern Warfare 2019 or Modern Warfare 2, more so acted like the Moab, the DNA bomb, and the Chem Strike in Call of Duties in the past. So interesting to see that that was kind of just dropped in the middle of a ton of information that you would not expect to see, but I'm here for it. So that right now is everything that we know of right now with the alpha in regards to what we learned today with the actual application going live, and of course then another accompanying blog post as of last night. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Of these settings, is there anything that you are liking is returning, anything that you're liking that's new, or maybe not so much? Let me know your thoughts down below, but hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below, and of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Vanguard and anything COD related. With the alpha and the betas coming up here very soon, make sure you stick it here on the channel so you don't miss a single thing. If you also want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever the case may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.